the sticky heat of Mumbai's back alleys, one careless kiss can wake the hungry dead, and they never sleep alone. Jim Harper stepped off the plane at Chhatrapati Shivaji Airport, the air thick with the smell of rain and diesel. It was his first time in India, a quick business trip turned solo adventure after his wife, Sarah, backed out at the last minute. She said the kids needed her, but Jim knew it was the fights, the endless small ones that built up like Mumbai's traffic jams. At 42, with a paunch from too many desk lunches and gray creeping into his beard, Jim figured a week in the city of dreams might fix him, or at least distract him. He grabbed a prepaid taxi outside the terminal, the driver a skinny man named Raj with a gold chain around his neck and a dashboard shrine to Ganesh. "First time, sir?" "Mumbai will eat you alive," Raj said with a laugh that showed yellow teeth. Jim smiled back, wiping sweat from his forehead. The monsoon had just broken, and water sheeted down the windows as they crawled through the chaos. Horns blared, cows wandered the roads, and billboards for Bollywood stars flickered in the downpour. The hotel was in Colaba, a faded colonial pile called the Sea View Lodge. It wasn't fancy, but it had air conditioning and a view of the Arabian Sea. Jim checked in, his room on the third floor smelling of mold and incense. The bed was hard, the sheets starched white. He unpacked his one suitcase, slacks, a few button-downs, running shoes for morning jogs along Marine Drive. No wife, no kids, just him and a guidebook promising street food and ancient temples. That first night, he couldn't sleep. Jet lag clawed at his eyes, but the city hummed outside. Street vendors shouted, a distant train rattled, and somewhere below, a woman sang a tinny Bollywood tune from a radio. Jim lay there, staring at the ceiling fan spinning slow circles. Sarah's voice echoed in his head. "You're always running away, Jim." He rolled over, grabbed his phone, and scrolled through old photos. Her smile in one from last Christmas. The kids at the beach. Delete. Enough. By morning, the rain had stopped, leaving puddles that reflected the sun like broken mirrors. Jim hit the streets, guidebook in hand. He walked to the gateway of India, the big arch by the water where tourists snapped selfies. The place buzzed with families, beggars tugging at sleeves, and monkeys stealing peanuts from carts. He bought a chai from a stall, the sweet milky tea burning his tongue. It tasted like nothing he'd had before. Spicy, alive. Lunch was at a place called Leopold Cafe, tucked in a lane off the main drag. The menu was greasy pages of kebabs and curries. Jim ordered butter chicken and naan, watching the crowd. A group of young locals laughed loud at a corner table, girls in bright salwar kameez with coal-lined eyes. One caught his gaze, a woman maybe 30 with long black hair and a red bindi on her forehead. She smiled, slow and knowing, like she saw right through his tourist skin. Jim looked away, cheeks hot. Married man, he reminded himself. But Sarah was oceans away. The afternoon blurred into markets. Crawford Market, where spices piled high in sacks and jewelers haggled over gold. Jim bought a cheap silver bracelet for the kids, something to mail home. The heat pressed down, shirt sticking to his back. By evening he was beat, feet aching from the uneven sidewalks. Back at the hotel, he showered, the water cool against his skin. Dinner was room service, dal and rice, bland but filling. He flipped on the TV, some news in Hindi he couldn't follow. A storm warning scrolled at the bottom. More rain coming. Sleep came fitful. Dreams of Sarah, but twisted, her face melting into shadows, whispering his name. He woke at 2 a.m., throat dry. The fan creaked overhead. Outside, thunder grumbled low. Jim padded to the window, pushed back the curtain. The alley below was empty, lit by a single street lamp. Then he saw her. She stood under the lamp, face half turned away. Long hair wet from the drizzle that had started again, a white sari clinging to her curves like a second skin. She looked up, straight at his window. Her eyes, dark, endless, locked on his. Jim froze, heart thudding. She raised a hand, palm out, as if waving him down. Or calling him. He blinked and she was gone. Just rain slicking the stones. Idiot, he muttered, sliding back into bed. Hallucination from the heat, the jet lag. But sleep wouldn't come now. He lay there, listening to the drops patter on the tin roof. The air felt heavier, like something had slipped into the room with him. Morning brought gray skies and a knock at the door. It was the hotel manager, a portly man in a kurta named Mr. Patel. "Sir, you look tired." "Bad night?" Jim shrugged it off, paid for another week. Business could wait. The city had hooks in him already. He needed to shake the weirdness. That day he wandered deeper into the old city. Past the slums of Dharavi, where laundry hung like flags from shanties, kids kicking a ball in mud. The guidebook warned against it, but Jim went anyway, drawn by the pulse of life. He stopped at a small temple, steps worn smooth by centuries. Inside, the air was thick with smoke from oil lamps. An old priest in orange robes chanted, bells tinkling. Jim dropped a few rupees in the box, felt eyes on him from the shadows. Whispers in Hindi, words like firang for foreigner. Lunch was vada pav from a street cart, the spicy potato fritter wrapped in newspaper. Grease dripped down his chin as he ate, standing up, watching the world rush by. A scooter zipped past, nearly clipping his elbow. Laughter from a group of schoolboys in white uniforms. It felt real, grounding. But as the sun dipped, the unease crept back. In a narrow lane off Muhammad Ali Road, lined with kebab stalls and perfume sellers, he saw her again. Not the woman from the cafe, the one from the alley. She leaned against a wall, sari faded, henna tattoos curling up her arms like vines. Her lips parted in a smile, teeth white against the dusk. "Hello, Jim," she said, voice soft as silk. He stopped dead. How did she know his name? "Do I know you?" The words tumbled out stupid. She laughed low and throaty, stepping closer. The air smelled of jasmine and something sharper, like wet earth after rain. "You will," she said. Her hand brushed his arm, cool fingers trailing fire. Up close, she was beautiful in a way that hurt. High cheekbones, full lips painted red, eyes lined thick with coal. "I'm Maya. Come with me." Jim's mind screamed no. Married stranger, wrong. But his feet followed. They walked the lane, her hips swaying, the crowd parting like water. She talked easy about the city, the rains that washed sins away. "Mumbai eats the lonely," she said, echoing Raj the driver. "But I can feed you." They ended up at a small bar, tucked behind a curtain of beads. Dim lights, fans stirring smoke from hookahs. Maya ordered drinks, something clear and burning with lime. Jim sipped, the alcohol loosening knots in his chest. She leaned in, breath warm on his ear. "Tell me about her, the one who left you behind." He did. Words spilled out. Sarah's cold shoulders, the kids' soccer games he missed, the job that chained him to a screen. Maya listened, nodding, her foot brushing his under the table. Her touch was electric, promising forget. When she kissed him, it was slow, tasting of salt and spice. The bar faded. There was only her. They left together, her hand in his, leading him through alleys slick with rain. Back to his hotel, up the stairs, the clerk averting eyes. In the room, the fan spun lazy, casting shadows on the walls. Maya's sari pooled on the floor like milk. Her skin was soft, fever hot. Jim lost himself in her, the world narrowing to gasps and sweat. It was one night, he told himself. Just one, after she lay beside him, head on his chest. "Stay with me," she whispered. He murmured something sleepy, eyes heavy. But as dawn crept in, gray light through the curtains, he felt it, a chill where her warmth had been. She was gone. Bed empty, sheets tangled. The air smelled of jasmine fading. Jim sat up, head pounding. A dream? No. The red lipstick smear on the pillow was real. He laughed it off, nerves jangling. Crazy night. Sarah would never know. But when he looked out the window, the alley was empty. No rain, no sign. Just the sea, flat and waiting. That day he tried to work. Emails about the deal, a meeting with clients in Bandra. But focus slipped. Maya's face haunted the edges. Her laugh, her touch. At lunch, pav bhaji slopped on his plate. He stared at nothing. The waiter asked if he was okay. Fine, Jim lied. Evening came slow. He walked Marine Drive, the Queen's Necklace lights twinkling on the water. Couples strolled arm in arm. Vendors sold corn-roasted black. Jim bought a beer from a boy with a cooler, drank it warm. The city felt alive, breathing. But under it, something watched. Back at the hotel, Mr. Patel stopped him in the lobby. "Sir, you have guest?" His eyes flicked to Jim's rumpled shirt. "Just a friend," Jim said, cheeks burning. Patel nodded slow. "Be careful, sir. This city, old stories. Women who come in the rain, fitang juk they call them. Hungry ghosts. Take what they want, leave you empty." Jim forced a laugh. Superstition. But in his room, the chill returned. The mirror fogged without steam. He wiped it, saw her reflection, not his. Maya, smiling. "Miss me?" He spun, room empty. Heart hammering, he grabbed his phone, dialed Sarah. Voicemail. Hey, babe. Miss you. Call me. Sleep was impossible. Thunder rolled in, rain lashing the window. At 3 a.m., a knock. Soft, insistent. Jim opened the door, chain on, empty hall. But the jasmine smell lingered. He slammed it shut, locked it, lay back, staring at the ceiling. The fan creaked like bones. Morning light brought no relief. Jim packed his bag, decided to cut the trip short. Book a flight home. But at the desk, Patel shook his head. Storm, sir. Airport closed 2 days. Trapped. The city closed in. That night, he went out anyway. Needed air, noise. Back to the bar, hoping for distraction. It was empty, just the bartender wiping glasses. No Maya? Jim asked, voice thick. The man paused, eyes wide. Who? The woman. Last night. Bartender crossed himself, muttered a prayer. You see her? In white? Go to temple, sir. Quick. Jim left, rain soaking him. Alleys twisted, endless. He ran, shoes splashing puddles. Her laugh echoed off walls. Back in the room, he bolted the door, stripped, showered hot till skin pinked. Toweled off, caught sight in mirror. A mark on his chest, faint, like henna. A name, Maya. He scrubbed it, but it stayed. Sleep came in fits, dreams of her, pulling him under. Waking to whispers. Jim, come back. Day 3 dawned muggy. Jim skipped the meeting, wandered instead. Temples, markets, trying to lose her in the crowd. But eyes followed. Old women muttering, kids pointing. At a chai stall, an elder with a white beard leaned in. Foreigner, you smell of death. The Chudail has you. What's that? Jim asked, voice small. Witch ghost, seductive. Drains life from men who stray. From old days, betrayed lovers, Rain calls them. Jim bought cigarettes, smoked one after another on the hotel balcony. The sea churned gray. Sarah texted, "Everything okay?" He replied, "Great. Miss you." Liar. Night fell heavy. He didn't go out. Ordered food, ate alone. TV droned soap opera screams. Then the knock again. This time, he opened it. Maya stood there, wet sari, translucent. "Missed you." She stepped in, door clicking shut. Her kiss was fire, hands everywhere. Jim fought it, pushed away. "Who are you? What do you want?" Her eyes darkened. "You. All of you." They tumbled to the bed, her nails raking skin. Pleasure mixed with pain, sharp bites on his neck. He blacked out in her arms. Woke alone, dawn light. Body ached, bruises blooming. The mark on his chest, deeper now, letters raised like scars. He dressed, went down. Patel waited. "Sir, you look ill. Leave. Now." "Can't." Storm. Patel pressed a small cloth pouch into his hand. "Black salt, turmeric. Put it doors. Chant Hanuman Chalisa. Drive her out." Jim pocketed it, fled to the streets. Rain again, harder. He ducked into a cyber cafe, booked flights for tomorrow, if the airport opened. But in the dim glow of screens, her face flickered on one, his reflection, but eyes hers. "Jim," it mouthed. He ran. The city swallowed him whole. The rain didn't stop. Mumbai drowned under sheets of water, streets turning to rivers, drains gurgling like choked throats. Jim woke on the 4th day, head thick, eyes gritty. The mark on his chest burned faintly, Maya's name etched in faint brown lines like a fresh tattoo. He scratched at it in the shower, soap stinging, but it wouldn't fade. The mirror showed a haggard man, him, but older, eyes sunken like he hadn't slept in weeks. He dressed in yesterday's shirt, wrinkled and smelling of sweat. Breakfast was a stale roti and cold tea from room service, left on a tray outside his door. The Seaview Lodge felt smaller today, walls pressing in. The TV flickered with static, news anchors droning about flooded suburbs, trains halted. Jim checked his phone, no signal. He tried Sarah again, got voicemail. "Hey, it's me. Weather's bad, might be stuck a bit. Love you." His voice sounded hollow, like a stranger's. The pouch Patel gave him sat on the nightstand, black salt and turmeric tied in red cloth. Jim opened it, sniffed the sharp, earthy mix. Superstition, he thought. But his hands shook as he sprinkled a line of it across the doorframe. He didn't know the Hanuman prayer Patel mentioned, so he mumbled something from Sunday school. Half remembered, "Our Father, who art in heaven." It felt wrong, like shouting into a void. He needed out. The room smelled of jasmine again, faint but clinging, like Maya had brushed past in the night. Jim grabbed his umbrella, useless in the wind, and hit the streets. Colaba was a mess. Vendors huddled under tarps, selling soggy pakoras and bruised bananas. He bought a paper cone of peanuts, the vendor's fingers brushing his as coins changed hands. The man's eyes lingered too long, muttering something in Marathi. Jim caught the word Chudail again. Witch ghost. He walked faster, rain soaking his shoes. Marine Drive was empty, the sea churning gray under storm clouds. No joggers, no couples, just gulls screaming overhead, diving for scraps in the waves. Jim sat on a bench, water seeping through his jeans. He smoked a cigarette, the pack he'd bought yesterday, already half empty. The smoke curled, and for a second he saw her face in it. Maya, lips parted, eyes endless. He blinked and it was gone. Just clouds. He walked to a small temple near the causeway, one he'd passed before. The steps were slick, red flowers floating in puddles. Inside, the air was heavy with camphor and oil lamps. A priest, younger than the last, sat cross-legged, stringing marigolds. Jim dropped a 10-rupee note in the box, hesitated. "You speak English?" The priest nodded, eyes sharp. "Yes, you are troubled, sir." Jim swallowed. "Heard about Chudail, ghost women. That real?" The priest's hands stilled. "Very real. They come in rain and dark. Wronged women dead but not gone. They want life, your life. You see one?" Jim's throat tightened. He shook his head too quick. "Just curious." The priest handed him a small copper amulet, etched with Sanskrit. "Wear this. Keep salt in pocket. Stay pure, mind, body. She will try to pull you." He paused, voice low. "If she knows your name, it's harder." Jim's stomach twisted. Maya had said his name that first night, soft as a caress. He pocketed the amulet, mumbled thanks, and left. The rain was heavier now, umbrella flipping inside out. He tossed it in a bin, let the water drench him. It felt right, like punishment. Lunch was at a dhaba, a roadside shack with plastic chairs and a tin roof hammering under the downpour. He ordered aloo paratha, the potato-stuffed bread, greasy and warm. The waiter, a boy with a scar over one eyebrow, kept staring. Jim ate fast, avoiding eyes. The food sat heavy, like stones in his gut. He paid, left a tip, and stepped back into the wet. The city felt different now. Alleys he'd walked yesterday seemed narrower, shadows longer. He passed a bangle seller, her wares glinting under a tarp. Her fingers were hennaed, patterns like Maya's. Jim froze, heart thudding. Not her, just a woman, older, laughing with a customer. He kept moving, head down. Back at the hotel, Patel was mopping the lobby, the air thick with bleach. "Sir, you okay? Look like ghost yourself." Jim forced a smile. "Just wet. Any news on the airport?" "Still closed. Tomorrow, maybe." Patel's eyes flicked to the amulet peeking from Jim's shirt. "Good. Keep that close." In the room, Jim stripped off his soaked clothes, hung them over the chair. The mark on his chest looked darker, letters curling like they were growing. He touched it, wincing, warm like a fresh burn. He sprinkled more salt at the door, added a line at the window. The pouch was half empty now. He tried working, laptop open to spreadsheets. Numbers blurred, meaningless. His phone buzzed once. No bars, but a text from an unknown number. "Miss you." No name. He deleted it, hands cold. Dinner was skipped. Hunger felt distant, like someone else's problem. He smoked on the balcony, rain spitting on his face. The sea was invisible now, just a black void beyond the streetlights. Something moved in the alley below, a shadow quick and low. Not a dog, not a person. He leaned forward, squinting. Nothing. Sleep came hard. He dreamed of Maya, her hands on his throat, her laugh mixing with thunder. Woke to a wet pillow, not from rain, sweat, or tears. The clock said 4 a.m. The room smelled of jasmine, stronger now, like she was sitting on the bed. He lit a cigarette, hands shaking so bad he dropped the lighter. It rolled under the bed. He knelt, reached for it, and froze. A handprint in the dust, small hennaed fingers. Not his. He scrambled back, heart in his throat. The salt line at the door was broken, scattered like someone had walked through it. He grabbed the pouch, poured more, chanting under his breath, "Our Father, deliver us from evil." The words felt thin, powerless. Dawn crept in, gray and heavy. Jim dressed, checked flights again. still grounded. He needed people, noise, to shake this fog. He headed to VT Station, Chhatrapati Shivaji Terminus, the guidebook called it. The grand old building loomed, Gothic arches wet and gleaming. Inside it was chaos. Commuters shoving, announcements crackling in Hindi and English. Trains were delayed, platforms packed. Jim bought a ticket anyway. No destination, just something to hold. On the platform, he saw her. Maya, standing by a pillar, sorry white and dry despite the rain. She smiled, beckoned. The crowd moved around her like she wasn't there. Jim turned, pushed through bodies, heart pounding. He boarded a train, any train, doors hissing shut. It was a local, packed tight. He stood, gripping the rail, sweat mixing with rain on his skin. The amulet felt heavy against his chest. A woman beside him, old and wrapped in a green sari, stared. "You are marked," she said, voice low. "She has tasted you." "Who?" Jim snapped, louder than he meant. The woman shrank back, muttering prayers. The train lurched, lights flickering. In the reflection of the window, Maya's face again, not his. Her lips moved. "Come back." He got off at the next stop, some suburb he didn't know. Rain poured, no taxis. He walked soaked past shuttered shops and stray dogs. A street vendor sold chai under a tarp. Jim stopped, bought a cup, hands shaking. The vendor, an old man with one milky eye, leaned close. "You carry death, Sahib. Go to Hanuman temple. Beg forgiveness." Jim nodded, numb. He didn't know where the temple was. He didn't know anything anymore. Back at the hotel, night falling, he locked the door. Sprinkled the last of the salt. The amulet burned against his skin like it was fighting something. He lay down, clothes wet, staring at the fan. It spun slow, shadows dancing, a knock at the door. Soft, then louder. "Jim!" her voice called, sweet as poison. He didn't move. Didn't breathe. The knock stopped. Silence, then the jasmine smell, curling like smoke. The rain didn't let up. It fell in heavy curtains, turning Mumbai's streets into shallow rivers. Jim woke on day 5, body aching like he'd run a marathon in his sleep. The mark on his chest, Maya's name, was darker now, edges curling like roots under his skin. He pressed it, wincing. It pulsed faintly like a heartbeat not his own. The mirror showed a stranger's face, pale, stubble thick, eyes bloodshot. He barely recognized himself. He forced down breakfast, a soggy dosa from room service, the chutney too spicy, burning his tongue. The coffee was instant, gritty, leaving a bitter taste. His phone was useless, no signal, battery draining fast. He tried Sarah again, left another voicemail. "Hey, it's me." Still stuck. "Call when you can." His voice cracked, weak. He didn't mention the dreams, the knocks, the jasmine smell that clung to the room like damp rot. The amulet from the temple hung heavy around his neck, the copper warm against his skin. He touched it, hoping for something, protection, clarity. Nothing came. The salt pouch was empty now, scattered across the door and window. It hadn't helped. Last night's knock still echoed in his head. Maya's voice, soft and hungry. Jim. He hadn't opened the door, but the air felt wrong, like she'd slipped through anyway. He needed to move. The hotel was a trap, walls closing in. The old man's words from yesterday, Hanuman temple, beg forgiveness, stuck with him. Jim didn't believe in ghosts, not really, but the mark, the dreams, the eyes of strangers. It was too much. He grabbed his jacket, soaked from yesterday, and headed out. The guidebook mentioned a Hanuman temple in Gurgaon, not far. He'd try it. Had to. The lobby was quiet. Mr. Patel nowhere in sight. A new clerk, a young guy with slick hair, handed him a folded umbrella. "Careful, sir. Flood's bad today." Jim nodded, stepped into the deluge. The umbrella snapped in the wind within minutes, useless. He tossed it into an overflowing bin, rain plastering his hair to his skull. Kolaba's streets were a mess, ankle-deep water, auto rickshaws stalled, vendors shouting over the roar of rain. Jim pushed through past a fruit cart where mangoes bobbed in puddles like drowned suns. A beggar woman grabbed his sleeve, her fingers bony, eyes wide. "You carry her," she hissed, pointing at his chest. "She eats you slow." Jim yanked free, heart racing, and kept moving. The crowd pressed in. Saris, umbrellas, school kids in plastic ponchos. Every face seemed to stare, whisper. He caught a bus to Gurgaon, packed tight with wet bodies, the air thick with sweat and curry. The windows fogged, blurring the city outside. Jim stood, clutching the rail, amulet digging into his collarbone. A man beside him, old with a gray turban, leaned close. "You smell of her," he said, voice low. "Chudail, go to Hanuman, quick, or she takes all." Jim nodded, throat dry. "Trying," he muttered. The man pressed a small paper into his hand, Sanskrit scrawled in red ink. "Chant this. Hanuman Chalisa. Keeps her away." Jim pocketed it, unsure. The bus lurched, stopped. Driver shouted something about floods, road closed. Everyone groaned, shuffled off. Jim stepped into knee-deep water, shoes squelching. Gurgaon was chaos. Shops shuttered, dogs shivering under awnings. Jim asked a pan seller for directions to the temple. The man spat red juice, pointed down a narrow lane. "That way, Sahib. But hurry, night comes fast." It was barely noon, but the sky was dark, clouds heavy as iron. The lane twisted, lined with old buildings, paint peeling. Laundry hung limp, dripping. Jim's legs ached, socks soaked. He passed a small shrine, a Hanuman statue smeared with red paste, garlanded with wilting marigolds. He stopped, fumbled for the paper the man gave him. The words were strange, syllables he couldn't pronounce. He tried anyway, voice low. "Jai Hanuman Ki." It felt stupid, like a kid reciting lines. He stuffed the paper back, kept walking. The temple was small, tucked between a tailor shop and a tea stall. Red flags fluttered, soaked. Inside, bells clanged, smoke curling from incense. A priest in orange robes sat by an altar chanting. Jim approached, hesitant. "I need help," he said, voice small. The priest looked up, eyes narrowing. "You are marked." He pointed at Jim's chest, though the shirt hid the mark. "Her name is on you, Chudail. She has tasted your sin." Jim's face burned. Sin. Sarah's face flashed. Her smile, her hurt. "Can you fix it?" The priest stood, handed him a small vial of oil, smelling of sandalwood. "Anoint yourself. Chant Hanuman Chalisa tonight, full moon. Burn this." He gave Jim a bundle of dried herbs, tied with string. "Stay pure. No drink, no flesh." "She will fight." Jim nodded, clutching the vial and herbs. "Thanks." He dropped rupees in the box, more than he meant to. The priest's eyes followed him out, heavy with warning. Back on the street, rain stung his face. The lane felt longer now, twisting wrong. He passed the same shrine twice, Hanuman's red face staring. Had he turned around? His head throbbed, vision blurring. A woman's laugh echoed soft from an alley. Not Maya, just a girl on a phone, giggling under a tarp. Or was it? He stopped at a dhaba for lunch, needing something normal. Ordered chole bhature, the chickpeas spicy, bread puffed and oily. He ate slowly, watching the rain through a cracked window. The waiter, a thin man with a mustache, refilled his water without asking. "You okay, sir?" "Look sick." "Fine," Jim lied, forcing a bite. The food was good, but his stomach churned. He paid left, wandered back toward Colaba. The city felt alive, watching. A street dog followed him, growling low, then bolted. A kid selling balloons stared, eyes wide before running off. Back at the hotel, dusk settled early, sky bruised purple. Patel was in the lobby, mopping again. "Temple help, sir?" Jim shrugged. "Gave me stuff. Oil, herbs." He didn't mention the chant, the warnings. Patel nodded, slow. "Do it right." "She's close now." In the room, Jim locked the door, checked the window. No salt left. He set the herbs on the nightstand, poured a drop of oil on his fingers, rubbed it on his chest. It stung, the mark flaring hot. He winced, stopped. The paper with the chant sat crumpled in his pocket. He pulled it out, tried reading Jai Hanuman. His tongue tripped, gave up. He lay down, clothes damp, amulet heavy. Sleep came fast, too fast. Dream swallowed him. In the dream, Maya was there, sari white, hair loose. The room was his, but not. Walls dripped water, floor soft like mud. She straddled him, lips brushing his ear. "You're mine, Jim," she whispered, voice like silk and knives. Her hands roamed, nails sharp, drawing blood. He wanted to push her off, but his body betrayed him, leaning into her touch. Her kiss was fire, burning away Sarah, the kids, home. Just her, filling him. He woke gasping, sheets twisted, body slick with sweat. The mark throbbed, deeper now, letters almost black. The clock said 2 a.m. The room smelled of jasmine, thick, choking. He stumbled to the bathroom, splashed water on his face. The mirror showed her, Maya behind him, smiling. He spun, nothing there. Just shadows. He grabbed the herbs, lit a match. They burned slow, smoke bitter. He chanted, voice shaking, "Our Father, Hanuman," mixing prayers, desperate. The smoke curled, formed her face. He dropped the bundle, stomped it out. The mark burned hotter, like a brand. He smoked a cigarette, hands trembling. The balcony was wet, sea invisible in the dark. A shape moved below, her or just a trick of light. He shut the curtain, crawled into bed. Sleep didn't come again. Morning broke, gray and heavy. Jim checked flights, still grounded. He was trapped, the city a cage. And Maya was closer, her laugh in his head, her touch on his skin. The rain was relentless, a gray curtain that blurred Mumbai into a watercolor smear. Jim woke on day 6, body heavy, like he'd been pressed under stones. The mark on his chest, Maya's name, was black now, raised and hot, like a fresh scar. He touched it, fingers trembling, and it pulsed, alive. His reflection in the bathroom mirror showed hollow cheeks, eyes red-rimmed. He looked sick, dying maybe. The thought came quiet, real. Breakfast was a cold idli, steamed rice cakes from room service, tasteless without the sambar. He forced it down, coffee bitter in his throat. His phone was a brick, no signal, battery at 10%. He tried Sarah again, voicemail. "Babe, it's me. Still here. Call me, please." His voice shook like he was begging. He didn't mention the dreams, the mark, the fear that clawed his gut. Sarah wouldn't understand. He barely did. The amulet hung heavy, copper warm but useless. The herbs from the priest sat on the nightstand, half burned from last night's failed attempt. The Sanskrit paper, Hanuman Chalisa, was crumpled, ink smudged. Jim had to try again, do it right. The priest's words echoed, "Stay pure." She will fight. He hadn't been pure, not since that night with Maya. Guilt burned, Sarah's face in his mind, her smile, now a frown. He couldn't stay in the room. The jasmine smell was everywhere, thick in the curtains, the sheets. Maya's laugh lingered in his ears, soft and sharp. He grabbed the herbs, the oil vial, the chant paper, and stuffed them in his pocket. The hotel felt like a trap, air stale, walls watching. Downstairs, Mr. Patel was at the desk, polishing glasses. "Sir, you look worse." "Did the temple help?" Jim shook his head. Trying again, tonight. His voice was hoarse, throat dry. Patel's eyes narrowed. "Full moon, good time. Do it exact, oil, chant, burn all herbs. Or she holds tighter." Jim nodded, stepped into the rain. Kolaba was a swamp, streets flooded, vendors shouting over the downpour. He bought a vada pav from a cart, the spicy potato fritter soggy in its bun. He ate standing under a shop awning, grease dripping on his shoes. A stray dog watched, eyes glinting, then growled and ran. Jim's skin prickled. Everyone seemed to know. The mark, the Chudail, him. He took a train to Dadar, the platform packed with wet commuters, umbrellas useless. The carriage smelled of sweat and metal, bodies pressed close. Jim stood, gripping the rail, amulet digging into his chest. A woman in a blue sari stared, her bangles clinking. "You are hers," she whispered, pointing at his chest. "She drinks you." Jim turned away, heart hammering, but her eyes followed, burning. Dadar's night market was alive despite the rain. Stalls lit by plastic lanterns, selling bangles, spices, knockoff watches. Jim wandered, needing noise, people, anything to drown Maya's voice in his head. He bought a cheap plastic lighter, red for the herbs. A stall sold chai steaming in clay cups. He sipped, scalding his tongue, watching the crowd. Families haggled, kids laughed, but eyes kept finding him. Old men, vendors, a girl with a basket of roses. "Sahib, you look ill," the rose girl said, voice soft. "Go pray." Jim bought a rose, petals wet, and moved on. At a jewelry stall, he stopped, drawn to a silver ring, simple, like Sarah's wedding band. Guilt stabbed him. He paid, slipped it into his pocket. A promise to do better, if he got out of this. A voice broke his thoughts. "Hey mate, you lost?" An Australian accent loud. A man, maybe 30, blonde hair plastered wet, backpack slung low. He grinned, holding a beer bottle under his jacket. "Name's Tom, saw you staring at nothing. You good?" Jim forced a smile. "Yeah, just tired. Tourist stuff," Tom laughed. "This city's a beast, eh? Been here a week, still lost. Where you from?" "Boston," Jim said, voice flat. He didn't want to talk, but Tom kept going, about beaches in Goa, cheap beer, girls in Bandra bars. Jim nodded, half listening. Tom's eyes flicked to his chest, where the amulet bulged under his shirt. "Mate, you into that voodoo stuff?" "Looks heavy." Jim's hand closed over it. "Gift. From a temple." Tom shrugged, sipped his beer. "Fair enough. But you look like you've seen a ghost. Sure you're okay? I'm fine, Jim snapped, sharper than he meant. Tom raised his hands, backed off. All right, mate. Take care. He melted into the crowd, leaving Jim alone. The rose in his hand was crushed, petals falling. He dropped it, watched it sink into a puddle. Back at the hotel, night fell fast, rain louder. Jim locked the door, checked the window. He set up the ritual on the floor. Herbs in a pile, oil vial open, lighter ready. The chant paper was damp but readable. He lit a cigarette first, hands shaking, smoke curling in the dark. The room felt alive, air heavy. Jasmine again, sharp, like she was standing behind him. He started the ritual. Poured oil on his fingers, smeared it on the mark. It burned, skin red and angry. He lit the herbs, smoke thick, stinging his eyes. The chant was clumsy, words tripping. Jai Hanuman Ki, victory to Hanuman. He read from the paper, voice shaking, mixing in Our Father when he stumbled. The smoke coiled, forming shapes, her face, her hands. He kept going, louder, desperate. The room grew cold. The fan stopped, though the switch was on. A knock at the door, slow, deliberate. Jim, Maya's voice, soft as silk. He froze, chant dying in his throat. The smoke thickened, choking. He coughed, dropped the paper. The herbs flared, sparks jumping, and the mark on his chest screamed, hot like a brand. He stumbled to the door, checked the lock. Still secure, but the knock came again, from the window now. He spun, saw her outside on the third-floor balcony, sari white, hair wet, smiling. Her eyes were black, endless. You can't send me away, she said, voice inside his head. You wanted me. He grabbed the lighter, relit the herbs. Go away, he shouted, voice cracking. He chanted louder, mangling the words. Hanuman. Deliver us. The smoke stung, but the cold deepened. The mark throbbed, spreading, letters crawling up his collarbone. He poured more oil, rubbed it raw. It didn't help. The window rattled like her nails tapped it. He yanked the curtain shut, heart pounding. The chant fell apart, just nonsense now. He threw the herbs into the sink, doused them with water. The smoke cleared, but the jasmine stayed, stronger. His reflection in the mirror wasn't his. Maya's face, lips red, smiling. He sank to the floor, back against the bed. The amulet burned his skin, useless. His phone buzzed, screen flickering. A text, no number. Why fight me? He threw it across the room, screen cracking. Sleep came uninvited. Dream swallowed him. Maya, closer now, her body pressed to his, hands cold but burning. Stay, she whispered, lips on his neck. He saw Sarah in the dream, crying, fading. Maya laughed, her nails digging into his chest, drawing blood. He woke screaming, throat raw, dawn light gray through the curtains. The mark was bigger, covering his chest, letters sharp like cuts. The room reeked of jasmine, herbs wet in the sink. The chant paper was gone, not on the floor, not anywhere. He dressed, hands shaking, and went downstairs. Patel was there, eyes wide. Sir, what happened? You smell of her. Jim didn't answer, pushed past. The rain hadn't stopped. The city waited, hungry. The rain hammered on, turning Mumbai's edges soft, like the city was melting into the sea. Jim woke on day 7, sheets damp with sweat, the mark on his chest a map of pain. Maya's name sprawled across his skin, letters thick and veined, pulsing with his heartbeat. He sat up slow, head spinning, the room tilting like a boat in rough water. The mirror caught him, face gaunt, skin gray, eyes like pits. He looked dead already, or close. Breakfast skipped. His stomach twisted at the thought of food, the idly from yesterday still heavy in his gut. The phone was dead, battery gone, charger lost somewhere in the mess of clothes on the floor. He plugged it into the wall, waited for a bar. Nothing. Sarah's voicemails played in his head, imagined. Jim? Where are you? He needed to hear her voice, something real to hold. The ritual's failure hung over him, smoke still bitter in his nose. The herbs were ash in the sink, the oil vial empty, tossed in the trash. The amulet felt like a joke now, copper cold against his chest. Patel's words echoed. She holds tighter. Jim couldn't stay. The hotel was hers, the room a web. He packed light, one bag, clean shirt, the silver ring for Sarah in his pocket. Juhu Beach, the guidebook said. Quieter, open air. Away from alleys, from her. Downstairs, Patel blocked the desk, arms crossed. Sir, going where? Rain bad, taxis scarce. Juhu, Jim muttered, voice rough. Need change. Patel shook his head, eyes sad. She follows water, sir. Sea calls her. Stay, try again. Jim pushed rupees across the counter, grabbed a key for later. I'll call. He wouldn't. The lobby door swung open to the storm, rain slapping his face. Colaba traffic was stopped, cars' horns blaring useless. He walked to a main road, flagged an auto rickshaw, yellow shell rattling. The driver, a wiry man with a beard named Vikram, shouted over the engine. Juhu? Long way, Sahib. Floods everywhere. Jim climbed in, the plastic seat wet. Just go. The rickshaw sputtered through water, waves splashing the wheels. Vikram chattered about his kids, the monsoon's curse, ghosts in old wells. Jim half listened, staring at puddles that reflected nothing, or her eyes. The ride took hours, or felt like it. They crawled past Bandra's slums, shacks leaning like drunks, laundry flapping in wind. A billboard for a Bollywood movie flickered, hero smiling wide. Jim's mind wandered to Sarah, her laugh at bad films, popcorn fights on the couch. Guilt knifed him. One night in this, he touched the mark, winced. Vikram glanced back. You hurt, Sahib? That mark looks like Chudail work. My ma saw one once in village. Took a man's soul, left husk. Jim pulled his shirt closed. Story. Vikram spat Beetlejuice. Real. Rain wakes them. Betrayed brides, drowned lovers. They hunger for what they lost. Juhu Beach came slow. The rickshaw skidding on sand-slick roads. Jim paid extra, waved off change. The beach stretched empty, waves crashing gray, foam white as her sari. Palm trees bent in wind, coconuts thudding down. No tourists, no vendors, just gulls and rain. He walked the shore, shoes sinking in wet sand, sea spray cold on his face. He sat on a low wall, lit a cigarette, last from the pack. The smoke mixed with mist, curling. For a minute, peace. The city noise faded, just waves and wind. He dialed Sarah on the dead phone out of habit. Nothing. He talked anyway. Babe, I'm sorry. Coming home soon. The words dissolved in rain, a shape in the water, dark hair floating, arm raised. Jim froze, cigarette dropping, just driftwood bobbing. He laughed, shaky. Walked further, past a shuttered shack where fishermen mended nets. An old woman there, face wrinkled like leather, watched him. Foreigner, you chase her? Her English broken, eyes sharp, Jim stopped. What? She and you. Mark shows. Go back, burn offerings. Or sea takes you both. He ran then, sand kicking up, heart loud. The beach ended at a line of hotels, high-rises with dark windows. He ducked into one, Taj something, lobby marble and cool. A cafe inside, empty but open. He ordered coffee, black, hands shaking as he paid. The waiter, young with the name tag Raj, brought it steaming. You okay, sir? Look cold. Fine, Jim said, sipping. Burned his tongue, good pain. He ate a samosa from the counter, pastry flaky, filling spicy potato. It sat like lead, but he chewed slow, watching rain sheet the glass. His phone buzzed. Miracle, a bar. He called the office first, needed normal. His boss, Mike, answered on third ring. Harper, where the hell are you? Deal's tanking without you. Stuck, Mike. Storms. Airport closed. Mike snorted. Excuses. You sound wrecked. Hangover? Listen, Sarah called. Worried. Said you're dodging her. Jim's gut dropped. No, I pull it together. Get back here, or find a new job. Click. Jim stared at the phone, screen blurring. He called Sarah next. Rang twice, her voice. Jim? Babe, God, I miss you. Jim? Where are you? Voicemail's weird. Kids ask for you. Tell them Daddy's fine. Coming home. Lysol. She paused. You sound off. Drink too much? No, just tired. The mark itched. Hot. Love you. Hurry back. Love you. Hung up, chest tight. The silver ring in his pocket felt heavy. Promise broken. Night crept in. Beach black beyond the glass. Jim checked into the hotel. Cheap room on 5th floor. Sea view. The clerk, a woman with henna hands, stared at his chest when he signed. Careful, sir, full moon. Spirits walk. Room smelled clean. No jasmine. He locked the door, bolted it, pushed chair under. Stripped, showered hot, scrubbed the mark raw. It bled a little, brown lines mixing with water. He bandaged it with hotel tissue, clumsy. Sleep came fighting. He lay in the dark, waves crashing below like applause. Dreams pulled him under slow. Maya was there on the beach, sorry wet, clinging. Run all you want, she whispered, hands on his arms, cool as tide. Her kiss tasted of salt, pulling him down. He saw Sarah in the waves, drowning, calling. Maya laughed, body against his, nails tracing the mark. Mine now. Pleasure twisted to pain, her teeth on his neck, blood warm. He thrashed, but couldn't wake. He did, gasping, sheets soaked. The clock glowed 3 a.m. The balcony door was open. Had he left it? Wind howled, rain inside. Footprints on the carpet, small, wet, leading to the bed. Henna smears. He bolted up, grabbed the phone. Dialed Patel, number from memory. Help, she's here. Patel's voice sleepy, then sharp. Sir, full moon. Chant now. Hanuman, I send priest. No time. Jim hung up, barricaded the door again. Lit the room lamp, shadows jumping. The mirror showed her, behind, hands on his shoulders. He smashed it, glass shattering, shards cutting his hand. Blood dripped, mixing with rain on the floor. The mark laughed, or he did. Waves roared louder, calling. Morning came bloody. Jim bandaged his hand, packed. The beach waited empty. He walked it again, footprints his own now. A gull cried, sounded like her. The city pulled him back, rickshaw to the train. Crowds at the station, faces blurring. A man bumped him, whispered, "She rides with you." Jim pushed on, carriage packed, bodies close. Reflections in windows, eyes not his. He got off early, wandered slums, kids staring, dogs barking. Lunch was bel puri from a cart, tangy and crisp, eaten on a crate. The vendor nodded. You fade, Sahib. Let her go or die. Back at Seaview Lodge, Patel waited with a priest. Old, robes orange, eyes kind but hard. We try now, Patel said. Full ritual. Jim nodded numb. The room was hers, jasmine thick. The priest chanted, bells tinkling, smoke rising. Jim sat, oil on skin, herbs burning. The mark screamed silent, but in the smoke her face smiled. Closer. The storm peaked that night, wind howling like a beast outside the Seaview Lodge. Rain lashed the windows in sheets, thunder cracking close, lightning flashing white. Jim sat on the bed, shirt off, the mark on his chest a twisted scar now. Maya's name sprawled like roots, black and veined, covering his ribs. It itched constant, burned when he moved. The priest, old with a white beard and orange robes, knelt on the floor, drawing a circle of chalk around the bed. Incense burned thick, camphor and sandalwood mixing with the damp rot of the room. Patel stood by the door, hands clasped, eyes down. You must face her, the priest said, voice steady but low. His name was Swami Rao, Patel had said, from a small temple in Matunga, called in a hurry. Chudail clings to sin. You let her in, body, heart. Now we pull her out. But it costs. Jim nodded, throat tight. Cost. He knew. Sarah's voice on the phone earlier, faint through the static. Come home, Jim. We need you. The kids' faces in photos, smiling. Guilt sat heavy, heavier than the mark. The ritual at Juhu had failed because he was weak, half-hearted. This time full, or die trying. Swami Rao handed him a brass bell, small, etched with Hanuman's face. Ring when she comes. Chant with me. He opened a worn book, yellow pages crinkling, and started the Hanuman Chalisa. The words rolled out, rhythmic, Hindi strong. Shri Guru Charan Saroj Raj, Nijmane Mukure Sudhare. Jim tried to follow, mouth clumsy on the syllables. The amulet around his neck warmed, not burning now, like it woke. Patel lit more lamps, oil flames dancing shadows on the walls. The room felt smaller, air thick. Outside, lightning struck close, power flickering. The fan groaned to a stop. Jim's skin prickled, sweat cold. He rang the bell once, tinny note cutting the chant. Swami Rao nodded, kept going, voice rising. The jasmine smell hit first, sharp, flooding the room like smoke. Jim's chest tightened, the mark flaring hot. She's here, he whispered. Swami Rao didn't stop. Eyes closed, beads clicking in his hand. Hold, chant, but she came anyway. The air cooled, sudden, like a door to the sea opened. The chalk circle blurred, edges smudging as if fingers dragged through it. A laugh, low, throaty, echoed from the corner. Maya stepped from shadow, sorry, white and wet, clinging to her curves, hair loose and dripping. Water pooled at her feet, spreading slow. Her eyes locked on Jim's, black pools pulling. Why fight? She said, voice silk over gravel. You called me. Jim rang the bell hard, the note sharp. Go away. His voice cracked, but he chanted, stumbling. Hanuman! Jai! She smiled, lips red, teeth white. Stepped closer, circle or no. The priest's chant faltered, just a second, sweat on his brow. Strong one, Swami Rao muttered, redoubling, voice booming now. Maya ignored him, eyes on Jim. "Remember me?" she whispered, hand reaching through the air, cool fingers brushing his knee. Fire shot up his leg, pleasure twisted wrong. He saw flashes, that first night, her skin hot, gasps in the dark. Sarah faded in his mind, a ghost herself. "You're lonely," Maya said, leaning in, breath jasmine sweet. "I feel you." "No." Jim rang the bell again, louder. The mark screamed, skin splitting, blood welling black. He gasped, hand to chest. Swami Rao threw herbs into the lamp flames, smoke billowing thick, acrid. It choked the room, Maya coughing, form flickering. But she laughed, nails raking the air, scratching the wall, deep gouges like claws. Thunder boomed, lights out. Dark now, just lamp glow and lightning flashes. Patel fumbled a flashlight, beam shaking on her face. Pale, beautiful, terrible. She lunged, not at the priest, at Jim, her hands on his shoulders, cold, nails digging. He felt her weight, real, pressing him back. Lips on his neck, teeth grazing. "Stay," she hissed, body arching against his, sorry slipping. Heat flooded him, guilt and want mixing. Sarah's name a prayer on his tongue. Swami Rao shouted the chant. Final lines. "Jo sert barpat kar koi, chuta hi bandi mahasukh hoi." He splashed holy water from a copper pot. "Ganga Jal," Patel said. It hit Maya, sizzling like acid. She shrieked, high and broken, pulling back. Smoke rose from her skin, smell of burned hair. The mark on Jim's chest tore open, blood hot, but the pain eased, just a bit. She twisted, form blurring, sorry unraveling to mist. "You can't have all," she spat, eyes wild. One hand shot out, fingers into Jim's chest, not breaking skin, but deeper, pulling. He felt it, something ripped like thread snapping. A memory? No, life piece of it. His strength, his fire. The kid's laughter in his head, dimmer now. Sarah's touch, fainter. The bell fell from his hand, clanging. He grabbed her wrist, weak. "Enough!" Swami Rao rang his own bell, voice thunder. "Jai Hanuman!" The herbs flared, room bright orange. Maya screamed again, body arching back, dissolving to smoke. The jasmine faded, rain loud now, alone. Thunder rolled, lights flickered on. Silence after. Jim slumped, chest a ruin. Mark faded to white scars, letters gone, but skin raw, bleeding slow. He touched it, numb. The circle was broken, chalk smeared with water and ash. Swami Rao sat back, breathing hard, book closed. Gone, for now. Patel helped Jim up, towel for the blood. "You live, sir, but—" Jim asked, voice small. He felt it, the hole, emptier. Swami Rao packed his things, eyes kind. "She takes toll. Life force. You weaker but free. Keep amulet. No more sin, or she returns." Jim nodded, dressed slow, shirt sticking to wounds. They left him alone, door clicking soft. He lay back, staring at the fan, spinning lazy now. Rain eased, patter gentle. Sleep came deep, dreamless. Morning broke clear, sky blue, first in days. The storm passed, streets steaming, sun hot. Jim checked out, bag light. "Airport open," Patel said. Taxi waited. Raj, the driver from day one, gold chain glinting. "Home, sir?" "Good." Jim slid in, window down. Mumbai blurred past. Markets waking, vendors shouting, cows in roads. He ate a last chai, sweet and milky, from a stall. Tasted like nothing or everything. At the airport, crowds pushed. Announcements, Hindi-English mix. He queued for check-in, passport stamped. Phone charge now. Sarah's text. "Flight?" "Love you," he replied. "Boarding. See you soon." The plane taxied, engines whine. Jim looked out. City shrinking, sea flat blue. Scars itched under his shirt, faint jasmine in his nose. Or imagination. Home was Boston, cold rain, not monsoon. Sarah hugged him at arrivals, kids clinging legs. "Missed you, Dad," Tommy said, 6, gap-toothed grin. Lily, 4, drew a picture. Family stick figures, sun yellow. Jim smiled, held them close. But his arms felt heavy, lift weaker. Dinner that night. Roast chicken, potatoes, Sarah's recipe. He ate slow, flavors dull. "Trip okay?" she asked, hand on his. "Great," he lied, fork scraping plate. The mark didn't show, scars hidden, but he felt them. Night, in bed, her body warm beside. He turned away, guilt quiet now, but there. Sleep came, but dreams whispered, soft laugh, white sorry and rain. Weeks passed. Work emails piled, meetings droned. Jim jogged mornings, slower, breath short. Sarah noticed. You okay? Look tired. Fine. Jet lag. He wore the amulet undershirt, copper dull. No jasmine, mostly. One night storm hit, thunder low, rain on windows. He woke at 2 a.m., chest tight. Mirror in bathroom. His face but eyes dark, just a second. He blinked, gone. Sarah stirred. Jim? Here. He slid back, held her. Her warmth real but distant, like through glass. Outside, rain fell. Mumbai's echo, or new. He closed eyes, chanted silent, Jai Hanuman. But in the drops, a name, Maya, fade to gray.